Hello everyone and welcome back to another Fam2Cents cooking video, and today we are making a Katsu Sando, which is a katsu sandwich, and this was absolutely worth making. We're gonna go ahead and just jump to that right now. If you have any question on whether or not you should make this, absolutely, it was super delicious. We're gonna start with making the sauce, which is kind of it's almost like a spicy tartar sauce almost. I'm using bread and butter pickles with some Miracle Whip, some hot sauce, and tossing a little seasoning in there to make this really nice basic sauce that's really good for this kind of sandwich. So you don't have to use this sauce. You can kind of make whatever you think would be good on it, but this was definitely delicious. I saw it on a video when I was looking at recipes specifically for katsu, and somebody made this sauce and I thought it was really cool, so I wanted to try it myself. As I said, very easy to make. Bread and butter pickles, Miracle Whip, hot sauce, salt and pepper, and a little bit of cayenne, and there you go. For this recipe, we're going to be actually using chicken thighs instead of chicken breast this time. These are boneless thighs. I use chicken breast a lot of times when I'm making like breaded fried chicken or whatever, but I really like the dark meat of thighs, and I think it's a little bit easier keeping them juicy and stuff when you're using thigh meat. I really like it, and it takes a little more work because you got to kind of bang it out, and then there's usually a lot of excess pieces and stuff hanging off whatever that you got to trim and deal with, but especially after you pound it or whatever. But at the end of the day, I do think this is better than using chicken breast. To each their own, everybody. There is no right or wrong way. So if you like chicken breast instead, you can do exactly what I'm doing here, but just substitute it with chicken breast. It's no big deal. Nobody's gonna nobody's gonna jump down your throat for it. Then again, somebody might, but who cares what they think. So we're gonna go ahead and make a quick marinade for our chicken thighs before we toss them in the fridge to marinate for about 2 hours. I kept it very simple. Salt, pepper, oyster sauce is all you need to get that marinade going. Very simple, nothing too complicated. I wanted the flavor of the chicken to really stand out, and I added a little oyster sauce just to give it a little Asian flair. I thought about adding soy sauce and all that good stuff too, but I just wanted to keep it very simple. I've seen plenty of different marinades or people doing different things or whatever, and this is just what I decided to do. So keep it simple, or add more depending on whatever you want, but this is how I seasoned it. Next up, we are going to prep our dredge, our egg wash, and our breadcrumbs. You guys have seen me do this in multiple videos before, but we'll do a quick rundown for you. For the flour mixture, we have our flour, of course, and then we added some cornstarch. We added onion powder, garlic powder, and a little bit of salt and pepper, and that's it for the flour mixture. Nothing too fancy, keeping it very simple in that regard. As far as the egg wash is concerned, we added some eggs, 3 eggs to be exact for this recipe, some hot sauce with some salt and pepper and cayenne. To that, not only does this help a little bit with the flavor, but it also gives it a really nice golden brown and reddish color. Makes it look really good towards the end there. So up to you if you want to add stuff like hot sauce. If you just want to do a regular egg wash, totally fine. I'll leave that up to you. As far as the breadcrumbs are concerned, nothing special. Just Japanese panko breadcrumbs and you are good to go. You don't need to add anything to them. They are fine exactly as they are. Panko is what you really want to use too. You don't want to use regular breadcrumbs because you kind of end up with something different. The panko is really what makes it katsu. If you do any other breadcrumbs, it's not really the same. There's a distinct textural difference that you will absolutely notice. So your next step after you have your station all set up is you want to go ahead and flour your chicken thighs. Just get them nice and covered. These are thighs, so there's, like I said, there's sometimes a little like pieces hanging off and all that good stuff. You want to make sure that it's completely covered. And what I like to do for this first step, usually people go straight from the flour into the egg wash. I like to sit them to the side and wait for 2 to 3 minutes to allow that that flour to really stick. I want it to pull the moisture out of the chicken and sit for a while it's doing that, so that way it really sticks. I don't want it like dissipating into the egg wash or anything like that, or I want it to really almost get kind of pasty onto the chicken, and it really helps, especially later on, your katsu staying together and not like separating or anything. You know, when the breading kind of separates from the chicken and they become two separate entities, you don't really want that. I'm not sure if this is specifically what helps with that, but I think it does, so that's what I do. If you think it's ridiculous and that's not what helps, or if it actually is something else, then do what you know is right, but this is what I did. After your chicken is set for a little bit and it is floured and that you can actually kind of see some of that moisture coming through, it is time to dip it into the egg wash and into the breadcrumbs. Now, when you do this, you want to separate them with parchment paper if you have it available, or something, maybe some foil or something like that. You don't want these touching if you're gonna like stack them on top of each other. If you got enough room to just lay them down somewhere, then that's fine. But I had them stacked on top of each other for a reason that I can't remember because I did this video a while ago. But you want to, if you're going to stack them on top of each other, make sure there's something separating them. You don't want them all together and touching and all that good stuff. So yeah, very simple process. Dip it into the eggs, make sure the excess is, you get as much of the excess off as you can. Toss it into the breadcrumbs, and this is also really important too, or at least to me, a very important step. When you put it in the breadcrumbs, don't just toss it around in there. Like, press down on the chicken. Push those breadcrumbs into it, both on the top and the bottom, to really make sure you're getting a nice firm coating. Like I said, if you think it's ridiculous and it doesn't help for you, or you think you know a better way, by all means, this is just what I did. So now it is time to fry our katsu chicken. You want to make sure that your grease is at least up to a minimum of 350 degrees, and go ahead and toss your katsu in there. Cook it for anywhere from 5 to 8 minutes, depending on what kind of browning you want on there. If you want it a little on the lighter side, 6 minutes. If you want it a little bit darker, then you want to go maybe 8 minutes. They don't have to cook all that long, especially if you're using the boneless breasts, not boneless breasts, the boneless thighs that I'm using. They are pretty thin. If you're using chicken breasts, make sure that you cut them thin, to first off reduce the amount of energy and strain you have to go through with pounding them out, and you know, just make sure that it cooks all the way through. So if you get a pretty large chicken breast, most of the time I can get that down to 3 sliced katsu. That should be fine, you know, pretty easy to do there. After your katsu is done, it should look golden and delicious, just like this. This is exactly how I like mine. It is, I could have just eaten it like this. No further steps necessary. Just eat it like this. You'll be just fine. But I couldn't. There's more to it. We have to assemble our sandwiches, of course. But oh man, just look at that. Come on, that's beautiful. All right, so for a squishy sandwich, because she did not like the sauce that I made, I decided to make a simple spicy ranch for her. So ranch, hot sauce, a little salt and pepper, cayenne. Easy little sauce to make if you want to make if you're just making, I don't know, a basic chicken sandwich, or if you're doing chicken katsu, this is a pretty good substitute. Nothing too fancy here. Just give that a nice stir and just lightly or heavily, depending on how you like it. Spread it on the bread and you're good to go. Also, chicken katsu sandwiches are also enjoyed with cabbage. So there's some cabbage here off to the side that I'm going to add onto my sandwich. But I didn't add it to Squishy's because Squishy didn't want any cabbage. So she just basically had a chicken sandwich. But, you know, to each their own. For my sandwich, though, of course, I added that wonderful sauce that I made, which was really, really good. Put that katsu over top of it and added the cabbage, which I didn't do anything special to. Maybe there's something you can do with the cabbage outside. I literally just shredded it up. It's nothing too fancy there. And cut it into 4 pieces to kind of get that really authentic look. I don't know if this is the right kind of bread. This is potato bread, which was kind of a bigger, longer piece of bread. I really like this because it's thick and workable when it comes to stuff like this or whatever. I don't know what the correct bread is to use for a chicken katsu. This is just what I found to be the most convenient, or the most towards what I was looking for when it came to bread, because just regular white bread wasn't really cutting it for me. So I did this instead, and man, words can't express how good this is. I mean, it's a little bit of a labor. I mean, well, I guess compared to some other things, it's not that bad, but it's worth making. It's absolutely worth making, and I am so glad I finally did. I can't wait to make this for my family, you know, outside of my wife and kid or whatever, because they need to try this. Everybody needs to try this. You all need to make it. It is delicious, and if you don't, you are depriving yourself of something really, really amazing. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed it. Don't forget to share too, guys. Sharing is really important. Because YouTube has just not really been accommodating to its people here, so they don't do a really good job sharing our stuff. So if you guys could, that would be amazing. We are on a road to 1,000 subscribers, and we are inching ever so close every day. So don't forget to hit that notification bell. Also, that'll keep you sometimes notified about me putting videos out, because once again, as I said, YouTube just doesn't care anymore. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate you all. Stay safe, stay inside if you can help it, and I'll see you guys on the next one.